Hello, hello, Stephanie Zima here, my way of life coaching. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why you keep starting over and how to stop. If you're new to me, I am Stephanie Zima. I am the founder of the Walk It Free Mentorship Program, where we heal, connect, and level up. And I founded it because I used to be stuck just like you are probably right now. I used to be stuck not knowing exactly what I was supposed to do. I knew having an online business was going to be beneficial. I knew that it was giving me the time freedom. I knew it was supposedly working for other people, but it wasn't working for me at the time. And I needed to really figure out what was wrong and what was happening in my business. And therefore, I stumbled over the fact that mindset is one thing. Yes, knowledge of skills on how to actually sell is a secondary thing. But what was most important was actually my nervous system. Overcoming the old paradigm thoughts, the wounds, the things that are holding me back, that they were holding me back, needed to be regulated through nervous system regulation. And putting all of these different pieces together is what helped me get unstuck for myself and my business. And that's why it's going to help you as well. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about why you keep starting over and how to actually stop. We're going to start talking about the fragmented growth versus an integrated growth, why solo execution collapses, why, how exactly the heal, connect, and level up can help you, and also the power of different containers we're going to talk about, and why weekly reinforcement matters. And I'm going to try to wrap this up a little bit faster today because I have to get to my kiddos' event, and they are important, right? If you all know me, you know that I love my kids more than anything else. So let's talk fragmented growth versus integrated growth. What exactly does that mean? So when we have fragmented growth, that means that you are learning a new skill. You found out a new marketing hack. You figured out how to post a reel. You figured out how to do a story. You figured out how to promote using an online event or something. Whatever it is that you have learned a piece of something that now you are able to integrate, but it's not the whole picture. It's only a small fragment of the entire picture. And that is what causes a disconnect for so many of you, okay? That means that you have this feeling of constantly learning, but somehow you're not getting anywhere. This hamster on the wheel, right? That's how I used to be. I used to be sitting on this hamster wheel. I had so much drive. I had so much passion. I could see the mountaintop. I could see that the people were telling me the truth. This was working, right? I could see it. But what I couldn't see was the staircase. I couldn't see how to get step by step to that point. And no one was able to teach me. And it was really, quite frankly, very frustrating. So what I did is I had all these different fragmented growth areas. I learned a little bit about marketing. I learned a little bit about sales. I learned a little bit about personal development. And then finally, I sat together and I thought to myself, you know what? All these different pieces, what's the big picture? See, I'm a big picture kind of person, right? I zoom out sometimes from the problem and take a look at how am I going to make this all work together? How am I going to make this all work? And once I zoomed out, I started seeing it was almost like a puzzle, and I started seeing all these different puzzle pieces. And then I started putting into order what needed to happen. And what needed to happen is the heal, the connect, and the level up part, right? But first, I want to dive into why solo execution collapses. See, if you are by yourself all the time, you are going to collapse because most of you are not able to zoom out because you have blind spots left and right, right? And being able to look at your blind spots is hard doing it by yourself. That is why so many uplines or bosses maybe say, you know, you got to do it in a power group. You have to have an accountability partner. The problem is with these accountability partners, at least that was the thing for me, was that not a lot of people were matching my drive, my speed of learning, my wanting to get somewhere, my way of thinking. And this is where, you know, and yes, it's not their fault, it's my fault. It's just my brain was very much different than everyone else, and I was all over the place. And I happen to be a visionary person. Other people learn different. There's a gazillion different learning styles out there. So I could never really find the accountability partner that was matching with me. And, you know, so it was longer. It took a long time for me to understand this. It was long, many failures, many failures for me to understand these different puzzle pieces and how to put them together to make it an integrated growth, right? We were talking about puzzle pieces being the fragmented growth, and the putting the piece of puzzle together, that would be the integrated growth, right? That's what you need to get to. Now, how the heal, connect, and level up method came about was because I started realizing, okay, all these puzzle pieces over here, meaning what is preventing me from doing the things that I needed to do? What is preventing me? And I started realizing it's doubt, it is overwhelm, it is fear of rejection. The fear of rejection and being rejected actually would nick all the time my old abandonment trauma wound. So that came up, and it was like really messy, very painful, a lot of stuff going on. But I wasn't willing to quit. I wasn't willing to give up, because as many of you are, you know, I would like to have a retirement at some point, and my retirement savings are not that great at this moment. So I needed something just like all of you. And, you know, so I had to dig in. I had to dig in and work through this. So what I developed now was the heal portion of becoming aware, having awareness. What is even hurting me? What is even going on for me? Why am I doubting? Why am I overwhelmed? What is going on? Reflecting on what it is. That's a big, messy unit, basically. Realizing that my environment was totally crazy, not only by people, but also my home, like my desk, my paperwork, like my pictures, like my folders, on my documents, on the folders, content I would create, but everything was just always a mess all over the place, because I only had the nooks and crannies of my day, and I never really had a brain to be organized, and B, the time to be organized. And what I later on learned as my kids were grown older, what I later on learned is, if somebody would have just told me to do certain things a certain way, I could have gone so much faster. And that is what mentorship does for you. It helps you cut down years and years of struggle that I had gone through. And it helps you say, this is how you organize it quickly. This is how you multi-purposely organize your content. This is what you need to worry about right now for lead generation, and you don't need to worry about that just yet, right? Knowing which puzzle pieces are in this first section is vital. Okay, it saves so much energy, and it saves so much time, and it doesn't take away from your confidence, it builds it. Now, when you have the heal unit, okay, once you become aware of what is happening for you, second is the connection. What do I even want to do? See, if you're anything like me, you start realizing, like, wow, I'm like 40, 50, whatever years old. I don't even know what I want. All I focused on was pleasing people and getting everything and everyone else taken care of. And now I found myself in this messy middle where you're like, what am I even doing here? Right? That piece is and it can be very vulnerable and very emotional and very shame driven too, because you may just be like me again, where you realize, like, wow, man, you wasted a lot of life not doing things the way you really needed to and wanted to and aligned with you. But here's the thing, it's never too late. Better now than never. Okay, so that's what I thought. That's what I kept telling me. Like, I look enough into the back, into the past, to understand, to be aware, to learn, but I look more into the future because that is where I'm going. Okay. And that is what is different between psychology and therapists, for example, and coaches. Coaches, they take what was in the past and then they work with it, and then they tell you this is how we can go and use this going forward, right? And that's exactly what we're doing. We're connecting with who we are, what do we want to do, who can we serve, what do we want to do. Marketing, of course, is going into that section because that is what you are doing, right? You market your way out, you market and do all these things. So you have that. And then the next part is the level up unit. Next part is the how to actually put all of these puzzle pieces together, that it becomes one cohesive business model, something that you're going to be able to follow, a system that you can repeat every single day so you can calm down with your nervous system and not feel stressed all the time, that your business is not progressing, you are not making any sales, you're not good enough. Like, this hamster wheel, right? This roller coaster of emotions, it, and you don't want to be on it. You want to get off of it. You want to systemize things. You want to learn enough about yourself and transform the pain of scarcity and overwhelm and all that stuff, all that pain. You want to transform that into peace and into, I feel actually good about what I'm doing and where I'm going. Okay. And that is where the power of containers are coming in, because now you have not only maybe one project or two projects, meaning one product that you're selling, two products that you're selling. There's like different ways on how to structure the multiple in order to have a brand overarching that can like filter down into all these different categories. Okay. And this is where when you work with containers, when you're working with buckets of like how you have this overarching brand, and then you filter everything down to where it needs to go. Now you can do one work, one prospecting, one lead generation, one type of posting, but you can still sell all of it. And that is the power of the buckets and the containers, right? What I also teach when I teach the content creation and the marketing and the level up portion, so to speak. Why weekly reinforcement matters is because we're humans. We are normal humans. We're not necessarily superhumans, and normal humans do something for 3-4 days and then we fall back off the wagon. So if we focus on week to week to week to week, that's why my coaching program is every week. So you have this accountability. Okay, every week there's a call. Every week you start Monday and then you finish it on a Friday. And that's why Friday night is my coaching sessions, because on Friday night we can be accountable to each other and say, you know what? This is what we've done. Now, one more thing I want to tell you, because I, believe it or not, am introverted and I don't always like to be out there with everybody, telling everybody everything, even though it seems like it. Okay. But it's very, some subjects that you're coming across when you're working your business and you're working your life, basically, because that's what it is. You start realizing that some corners are really shadowy. Something is really dark, and you may not be so proud of the things that you're finding in the shadows when you do the heal portion, the shadow work. Okay. And when that happens, a lot of people quit because it's uncomfortable. The way how I coach, though, is I let you just do do things in private. Okay, I let you do. It's not a one-on-one, coaching, but I let you still do things in private. You can submit to me what you're struggling with. You can submit to me that no one else will see what it is, and I will address it in a personalized training on Friday, every single Friday. That is what's different about me and the Walk It Free mentorship than anyone else. They are not constantly newly finding ways to address the same thing or teach you in a way that you understand. They are going to usually have their program, and that's what they do, right? Now, the Walk It Free mentorship adjusts all the time. It's fluid. It's like water. We're going through water depending on who's in there and what questions they have and what they are wanting and needing within this business building structure. Okay, so that is why this weekly reinforcement matters, because we don't want you to start and stop on Thursdays. Okay, we want you to start, then learn something, get redirected on Fridays, and continue learning and starting again and continuing the path, not always having to start over, because this is getting tiring. And here's the thing, 80% of online entrepreneurs quit. And I refuse to believe that 80% of people are just not wanting to do it. I refuse to believe this. I believe that people would want and love to have more money and have all of the perks and the benefits that network marketing and online businesses are offering you. However, I do believe that it's hard to do alone. I do believe that it's super hard to heal by yourself. I do believe it's really, really super hard to apply things and habits that you have never done. I mean, basically, what people are asking you to do is break and shift your paradigm, your generational programming from your grandmother and to your mother to your, whatever, all of them, generational programming, to switch. Only a few can do that, right, by themselves. Everyone, however, can do that with some guidance. And that is what the Walk It Free mentorship is all about. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know in the DMs and I'll hop on a call with you and I figure out, a time with you where we can talk to see if this is anything for you. I do not serve people. I let you know right now. I do not run after people. I do not serve people that don't think that this can work for them. Because if you are not showing up, I cannot help you. This is just what it is. If you don't show up and work with me and ask me your questions, I won't be able to help you. And so then that is nothing I can do, right? But if you want to, I'll be more than happy to sit on a coaching call with you one-on-one to kind of have a conversation to see if this is something that will be beneficial for you, if you think that you are going to be able to level up with this, or if you don't, then that's no harm, no foul. You got a free coaching. If you, however, just today are you not ready to DM me and do any of the things, make sure you download the free nervous system reset guide, because that is where I started with. When your nervous system is on fight, flight, and freeze mode, you are constantly in survival and you are like all the way out there, you are never going to be able to make it happen. Okay, so you need to start by regulating your nervous system first, and you can learn all about that in my reset guide. So either download that in the link here somewhere or comment reset below and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a